As you can clearly see and tell, I'm not a legend, and I hope I will get there one day down the line. I'm holding down the fort for our very own, that is Fayaz. And this evening we'll be focusing on the looming teacher strike. What is the way forward? Talk to us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 as well as at Abdiaziz Hashim 1. But before that, here are the highlights.
There comes a time in the life of a nation when the unity of the nation, the progress of Kenya, the transformation of our nation is much more important than any other political persuasion.
President William Ruto assures his new cabinet secretaries of his full support as he graces Wycliffe Oparanya's homecoming ceremony.
Sisi tunataka tuunganishe Kenya as one country. Na rais amefanya mzuri, amesema tupendane kila mtu.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua lauds a broad-based government for forging national unity. The government disperses capitation funds to schools, even as teachers maintain Monday's countrywide strike is still on. Welcome once more to the broadcast. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Susan Thuku. And we start off with the head of state, where President William Ruto has assured his new cabinet secretaries of his full support in performing their duties and weeding out corruption in the government. Speaking during the homecoming ceremony for cooperatives and MSMEs cabinet secretary, that is Wycliffe Oparanya, the president exuded confidence that the new cabinet secretaries, including those from the ODM party, will deliver the plan of the Kenya Kwanza government. CS Oparanya committed to ensuring the 15 million Kenyans in the micro, small and medium enterprises will benefit from the government.
President William Ruto graced the homecoming ceremony of CS Wycliffe Oparanya in Kakamega County, where he spelled out the financial allocations his government had set aside for micro, small and medium enterprises and how the former governor was expected to deliver.
Hatutaki tena migawanyiko katika taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio nikaamua nikasema wacha nitengeneze serikali ama baraza la mawaziri yenye inawaunganisha Wakenya wote.
The president assures his cabinet of his full support as they implement the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza Alliance and fight corruption in the government. According to the president, the Kenya Kwanza manifesto is similar to Azimio's manifesto. Therefore, the cabinet secretaries from ODM will work well with the Kenya Kwanza team.
Sisi tuko team moja. Mimi nilikuwa deputy party leader wa ODM. Si namna hiyo? Huyu Oparanya alikuwa deputy party leader wa ODM. Ule Joho alikuwa deputy party leader wa ODM. Sasa tuko na maswali ya kuulizana nini?
When you choose and you choose some of our best people to work with, without destroying the base and the foundation of the constitution, which are the political parties, tunakupatia hongera.
Sisi tumefurahia ya kwamba wale watu yetu ya ODM ambaye wako na ujuzi, watu kama Mheshimiwa Mbetsa Oparanya, Mbadi, Opiyo Wandayi, Hassan Alijo wamepata kazi. Nani hataki kazi hapa Kenya?
Meanwhile, Budget and Appropriations Committee Chairperson Dindi Nyoro has assured junior secondary school intern teachers they will be confirmed on permanent and pensionable terms this financial year.
I want to assure them that we budgeted for 18.7 billion shillings to confirm our JSS interns into permanent and pensionable terms. Na hiyo pesa yote iko.
Gishuka Washira, Legends Edition.
Now, correction, the sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Mwaura. Now, from the country's commander-in-chief to the second-in-command, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has praised President William Ruto for opening up the country through the broad-based government, allowing communities to seek friendship with others, including those in opposition, in building national unity. Speaking in Kajiado Central, Kajiado County, Gachagua said President William Ruto reconstituted an inclusive government to show the importance of working even with opponents in elections for the good of the nation.
In Kajiado County, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua graced the Maa community 25th Inter-Ministries Union prayers at Nkinyie Primary and Junior Secondary School grounds. Gachagua says President William Ruto reconstituted an inclusive government to show the importance of working with opponents in elections for the good of the nation.
Sisi tunataka tuunganishe Kenya as one country. Na rais amefanya mzuri, amesema tupendane kila mtu. Wale tulipingana, wale tulishinda, wale tulishindwa, watu yote we work together.
Gachagua also defended his pursuit for the unity of the Mount Kenya region.
Kwetu nimeunganisha. A few leaders wanaongea, lakini hakuna anaweza ongea kwa raia. Wanaongea kwa WhatsApp group. Pahali iko safe. Lakini kwa mazishi wanaongea umoja.
He, however, said he is out to seek friendship of the Mount Kenya and the Maa communities as part of the initiative of building a united country.
We are going to unite the Kenyan people, but we will unite them around communities. Because communities must speak as one, because they have a common identity, a common origin, a common language. Hata hii mlima ya Kilimanjaro nitaiangalia vile naangalia mlima Kenya.
Governor Joseph Lelenku, Senator Samuel Seki, Kajedo South MP Samuel Parashina, and nominated Senator Peris Tobiko were among the Maa leaders present.
Hata sisi kama jamii ya Maa tunaendelea kuungana, tunaendelea kusemezana, tuko na mirengo tofauti ya kisiasa, lakini hatuna nyumba ingine, nyumba moja tuko nayo ni nyumba ya Maa.
Mumeona ya kwamba ile kitu inasaidia Kenyans wa Kenya ni kulete jamii zote na serikali na opposition wale sasa governor ile chama ya governor ODM na Parashina muwalete wote kwa pamoja.
Na sisi ni watu wa mkataba. Sisi ni watu wa uhusiano. Na sisi ni watu wa urafiki kabisa. So Your Excellency, hii jamii wakisema ni wewe na rais, tuko hapo na hakuna mtu atatutoa hapo.
The Inter-Ministries Prayers Conference brings together the Maasai, Samburu, El Chamos, and other communities that identify as Maa community. Give us Minor Legends Edition.
And now to developments on the looming teacher strike. The Ministry of Education has released 21.8 billion shillings to all public basic education institutions ahead of the school's reopening set for Monday. Education CS Julius Ogamba says the release of the funds will facilitate a seamless resumption of school activities in the new term and warned principals against imposing unauthorized fees. But even as the government has released funds to schools, teachers maintain that their countrywide strike begins on Monday as scheduled. Tilio Marco with the details.
In a press statement, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba said the release of the 21.8 billion shillings will facilitate a seamless resumption of school activities in the new term. He directed school heads to ensure the funds benefit the students, warning them against imposing any illegal fees. In the breakdown, free primary education has received 1.6 billion shillings, free day junior school education 6.1 billion shillings, while free day secondary education received 14.1 billion shillings. The disbursement may, however, not be enough for a smooth reopening of schools if the strike threat by teachers countrywide is anything to go by. Teachers' unions officials from Kilifi, Busia and Meru counties backed the nationwide strike call, insisting that no learning will take place until all their demands are met. Whereas the employer undertook to implement second phase of the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreements, the teachers want talks on the new round of CBA. They also want more teachers hired and confirmation of junior secondary school teachers into permanent and pensionable terms.
We have 130,000 teachers who must be promoted. Teachers have stagnated due to what we call CPG. We want that CPG to be dropped with immediate effect.
We are aware that the junior secondary teachers are really in a state of agony and abject poverty because of low remuneration.
Tilio Marco for Legends Edition.
From one looming strike to another, the aviation sector in the country could be plunged into a major crisis following the declaration by the Kenya Aviation Workers Union, that is KAU, that they will commence a nationwide strike on September 1st. Speaking in Nairobi County on Saturday, KAU Secretary General Moses Ndiema said that their over 10,000 members will down their tools to protest the alleged planned sale of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, to Adani Airport Holdings Limited of India.
Days after the Kenya Aviation Workers Union KAU postponed their planned strike to give dialogue a chance, the workers have now changed tune, vowing to paralyze services in all major airports in the country come Sunday next week.
We will withdraw labor and we will close all operations within JKIA, Moi International Airport, Mombasa, Kisumu International Airport, Eldoret International Airport, all airports and all airstrips within the Republic of Kenya, we will close them down.
KAU Secretary General Moses Ndiema told the media in Nairobi that no progress has been made in talks with the government to stop the alleged planned sale of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to Adani Airport Holdings Limited of India.
The only two conditions that can avert that scenario is one, stop all engagements relating to Adani.
KAU opposed the deal, claiming it was being carried out in a secretive and unlawful manner and that it could result in massive job losses. The workers are also opposed to a planned visit to Adani Airport Holdings Limited in India by senior KAA officials next week, instead calling for the sacking of the officers they claim to have been involved in acts of impropriety and gross misconduct regarding the alleged deal. Joseph Wahungu for Legends Edition.
The Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife is calling on Kenyans to desist from handling and consuming bushmeat following the increase of mpox cases in the country. According to medical and animal health experts in the country, the viral disease is zoonotic, meaning it is communicable between wild animals and human beings. This foreshadows a potential eruption if caution from the experts' advice is not heeded.
Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano is cautioning Kenyans to refrain from handling or consuming bushmeat. In a statement, the Cabinet Secretary says the advisory is informed by advice from relevant authorities within the State Department of Wildlife. Medical and animal health experts say mpox is a zoonotic viral disease, meaning that it's communicable between wild animals and human beings. The spread of zoonotic ailments, be they bacterial, viral or parasitic, occurs through direct contact or through food, water or the environment. Unheeded caution could lead to a potential eruption of the cases. Communities living adjacent to wildlife domiciles or alongside wildlife conservancies in community areas are warned to keep away from bushmeat, poaching and hunting or handling meat from wild animals. This caution comes in the wake of fears of a rapid spread of the viral disease in the region and confirmation of a second mpox case in Kenya.
Tuko na wasiwasi kubwa sana hapa Malaba juu hatujui inaweza ikashuka kwa sababu boda, watu wanaanza kuvuka kwa boda, pengine mtu anatoka Kongo, anatoka Uganda, ametoka Zaire, anapita hapa hivi na pengine ana hizo virusi na tunawabeba kwa zaidi, hao ndio wateja wetu.
The general public is being urged to observe and adhere to guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health on mpox and report suspected cases to the relevant authorities as soon as possible. Yusufar reporting for the Legends Edition.
Moving on, Kenya belatedly marked World Vitiligo Day today under the theme United by Our Skin Colors. The celebrations were held in Nairobi County amid calls to stop stigmatization of people living with a skin disease to enable them live their full potential. World Vitiligo Day is marked on the 25th of June annually, but in Kenya, festivities were postponed due to the nationwide Gen Z protest. Frederick Pasayo with the details.
Vitiligo is a long-term skin condition where pale white patches develop on the skin caused by lack of melanin, a pigment which gives the skin its color. Felix Owinyi was diagnosed with vitiligo in 2008. It took him time to accept the situation. Now he's a model and a brand ambassador.
Modeling is art, and I love art. That's how I express myself a lot through art, because my body itself is just art. So yeah, that's why I joined modeling, to just do away the discrimination and just to eliminate people on my condition, and how they are supposed to embrace art.
For Julie Nasuju, acceptance of vitiligo is a unique feature. She has lauded efforts by various stakeholders for debunking myths and misconceptions about vitiligo.
I call them natural tattoos. And this is what has inspired me to be who I am. But back then, I wasn't this confident. I wasn't this positive to walk out. I always felt I should hide myself. So people used to take it as a curse and all that. So I can say right now it's better off. There isn't this much misconception. And people are getting to know and learn. We are evolving slowly, day by day.
Others, like Zinette Mary, have not been so lucky. The grade 7 pupil has been bullied in school.
And in school, people have been bullying me, but I've been always encouraged by my mother and some of my friends.
Vitiligo has also denied some a chance of employment.
I'm a certified engineer. I do automotive. Apparently, kupatana watu, like they don't want to stay close to you, so like there's a defect with you.
Flora Tumbo, a dermatologist, clarifies that vitiligo is neither transmittable nor genetically inherited.
Mostly, vitiligo starts when you are already grown up. Yeah, it starts when you are ready. It's not like albino. Albino, you are born with it. But vitiligo, it happens when those cells stop functioning.
World Vitiligo Day is marked on the 25th day of June annually with an aim of building global awareness about the disease. Parsai Frederick, Legends Edition.
And this evening we'll be taking you live to Narok County, where our very own, that is O'Brien Kimani, will be briefing us on what he's doing there and also talking in terms of enhancing water and sewerage connectivity within the Rift region. And he'll be joining us a little bit later on. You can see that is the live image of O'Brien Kimani with guests there. We'll be linking up with them a little bit later on in our bulletin. But let's come back here to the studio and brief you on what other stories are making headlines at this hour. Aside from that, hospitality stakeholders in the lakeside Kisumu city are already experiencing a business boom as the Festival for Arts and Culture, popularly known as Festac, draws closer. As Weekly Focus now reports, Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o says all is set for the over-century cultural event, with more than 7,000 individuals having confirmed participation.
The lakeside Kisumu city will be hosting yet another continental event in the name of Festac, having played host to the Free Cities Summit 2 years ago.
Kisumu piny maber wachame masunga. Kababa piny maber wachame maembe.
The Festival for Arts and Culture, to be staged from the 25th of August to the 1st of September, has attracted over 7,000 participants, according to Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o.
There will be 7,000 participants, 200 speakers, 100 artists, 150 exhibitors, 20 sports activities, and many special programs.
The over-century-old cultural event seeks to promote Pan-Africanism and intra-Africa trade, among other objectives.
Eventually, what Festac would do is to do more trade between us, county to county, country to country, region to region.
We have invited you to be part of this event. We want you to know the history of Festac and to make you understand what it means to Kisumu, Kenya, East Africa, and Africa as a whole.
Business in the lakeside city is already booming, with hoteliers registering increased bookings and reservations.
On the 25th and 26th, the day is opening up. We are fully booked up. We want to see how it progresses from that. When, people come over.
The impact on hotel is very huge in terms of accommodation, restaurants. We are looking forward, in my view, of high businesses in both hotels and restaurants.
Masolia Okinda of the new look Loss of Rain Suites and his counterpart from the Mirage Palace described the event as a blessing to the Western Kenya tourism circuit.
I think this is one area that we are very much grateful for the county administration through the governor, that the region has been highly marketed as a tourism destination.
Anybody who wants accommodation from the 27th up to the 1st, when they FESTAC ends, they can get in touch with us. We have rooms available.
Governor Nyong'o is assuring of beefed security and readiness of facilities to be used during the week-long cultural showpiece. For the Legends edition from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Now let's take a look at what is happening in other devolved units. A students' organization of Nairobi University has opposed the new university funding model, saying it is discriminative. The organization's leaders say the students will take to the streets on the 2nd of September if the government implements it. This and other stories in our county's roundup.
Student Organization of Nairobi University says the adoption of the new university funding model will make higher education expensive for majority of students.
And this funding model is not convenient for each and every student of the University of Nairobi or of any university whatsoever. Therefore, we've decided that after that, the abduction, we come outside here and demonstrate and actually orchestrate his release.
And police in Garissa County have impounded 3 Toyota Probox vehicles along the Modogashe-Garissa Road and arrested 3 suspects after they were found ferrying assorted contraband goods believed to have been sneaked into the country from neighboring Somalia.
If they don't declare and pay the revenue, we are warning that their days are numbered, and we are closing gaps. We are telling them to stop, and they should follow the right channel by declaring their goods.
The National Council of Churches of Kenya has called upon political leaders to involve all people when it comes to policy making, noting the state of justice, inclusivity and democracy in the country have deteriorated. NCCK leadership spoke during its 65th General Assembly at Jumuiya Conference Center in Limuru, Kiambu County.
Nafikiri zote tulisikia vile Chief Justice alivyosema, na ninafikiri ni maono yetu hata kanisa, tukiwa kanisa la Anglican huku Kiambu, ya kwamba vile Chief Justice alisema basari zote ziwekwe pahali pamoja, kusiwe na basari za women rep, za MCA, za MP, zote ziwekwe one basket, watoto wote wa Kenya wasomeshwe na hiyo pesa kwa sababu imetosha.
And residents of Mombasa County have been asked to attend public participation forums on the preparation of the county annual development plans 2025-2026 to give their views on projects and programs. The county government is scheduled to conduct public participation in all the 30 wards from 26 to 28 August.
It is important that we reflect on where we are coming from and where we are going to. In the last financial year, there are good things that happened. One of them was establishment and operationalization of CBEF, or the County Budget Economic Forum, which is an important institution in ensuring that public participation happens properly in the course of budget-making process.
Meanwhile, the Wildlife Research and Training Institute has introduced an online wildlife permitting portal that will ease the process of getting a wildlife research permit in the country.
We do know that research is one of those attractive areas. Many partners are willing to put in their resources, and we will be working with partners. We will also be looking for very innovative resource mobilization strategies so that research is not hampered or affected by any budgetary constraints.
Elsewhere, Kericho County Woman Member of National Assembly Beatrice Kemei has called for a concerted effort by parents and teachers to guide and counsel children to avoid the increasing cases of teenage pregnancies in the county.
I want to condemn the many cases of early pregnancies and ask our parents to support, to talk to our children, our teachers, and even the students themselves. Be focused.
And the county government of Bomet, in collaboration with Worldwide Fund for Nature and the Cooperative University, have held a training of members of cooperatives in the region on the importance of environmental conservation using fruit trees.
Again, we need to ensure that even our members that we are representing here will also get this knowledge, because we are assuming that these are TOT, these are training of trainers. We are not the trainers now. Go and impact now the communities.
Finally, a section of farmers from Lower Ndaragwa in Nyandarua County has challenged their local leaders to help them harvest rainwater for future use, especially during drought.
Tungewaomba safari hii msituletee hiyo chakula ya tumikebe, msituletee hiyo mshere ya mkebe moja. Shukieni maji tuweze kulima naye ama mjue mahali mtatutolea maji.
Martini Muslim for
Now, as we speak, the Gunners are leading at Villa Park 2-0 up after Trossard and Thomas Partey scored for the Gunners. That and so much other stories in the world of sports will be coming up your way with our very own Topi. Don't go too far. We still have more for you on the other side of the break.
Siamini. Amini usiamini, Holiday Bonanza ni ya kila mtu na zawadi zitakufikia mahali popote. Dial *570#, chagua option 4 na zawadi kibao zinakungoja. Ikiwa kila wiki kuna 250,000 Kenyan shillings za kushindaniwa. Ni *570# pekee, option 4, tushinde.
Mtazamaji, tumekuandalia taarifa zinazogonga vichwa vya vyombo vya habari kutoka hapa jijini Nairobi na pia mashinani.
Wanahabari zaidi ya ubora wao wako ange kukuletea habari pindi zinapochipuka kutoka pembe zote za Kenya.
Kwenye kipindi cha Tamrini, tunakuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja kufafanua na kuangazia masuala yanayokuhusu wewe mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, taarifa yenye thamani daima hupokewa kwa amani.
Hivyo basi usikose kuungana nasi kila siku ya wiki.
Tukupakulie na tukutaarifu taarifa yenye mnato kwenye runinga unayoienzi. Kwenye kurunzi mashinani,
sisi DC.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Before we take you to Topi to update you on what is happening on the fields, I want to take you live to Narok County, where, as I told you earlier, our very own O'Brien Kimani is currently there. He will be conversing with some of the guests he has lined up for us there in terms of enhancing water and sewerage connectivity within the Rift region. Now, O'Brien, good evening. If you can hear me, tell us what is the weather like in Narok, and of course, what else have you installed for our viewers this evening?
Aisho Oleng, Abdiaziz Hashim back in Broadcasting House. I'm simply saying thank you very much. This is in the local dialect, the Ma language. We're coming to you from Naisoya village in Narok, North constituency, which is in Narok County. I mean, the whole day we've been talking about water and sanitation, and we have been here and of course looking at what the government is doing, as well as the county government of Narok, to enhance water connectivity as well as sanitation. And we have been doing this in collaboration with the Central Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency. They are joining us here. They are going to give us an overview of how the situation is on the ground. And as you can see, I have a great panel that will be guiding us in this conversation. And I just want to take you through the list of the people that we have here. We have the Chief Executive Officer of the Central Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency. This is CPA Douglas Murray. Thank you very much indeed, Douglas, for your time.
Thank you, O'Brien, and all the viewers. Today we've been in Narok County, the beautiful county of Narok, to check on the projects that we are implementing as an agency. And the first project that we went through was a Narok sewerage project that was commissioned last year by the President. And the purpose of us being in this county is to check on those projects, the impact of the project to the community, to all the users, the connections done by the water company and the county government of Narok, to see that the project is being utilized, and to as per our assessment today, we are seeing the project is moving on very well, and that it's a capacity of 40% utilization, which is good. And through the support, again, that we've gotten from national government, we have to input more funds, and already we've been given some funds to a tune of 241 million to add more connections to the sewerage system in Narok.
Very well.
Yes.
I'm coming to you so that we can explore more about what you're doing. And the man seated just next on my left is Moses Samante. He's the chair of Narok Water. And on my extreme left, we have Emily Mbatiani. She's a beneficiary and also a resident of Naisoya here in Naisoya village. I want to first of all to hear from Emily. I mean, I have seen a number of boreholes that have been sunk by the national government in collaboration with the county government. I'll be coming to you because I would want to find out from the local perspective, how have these projects or how have these dams, not dams, but boreholes, helped you as women? But before we go there, I want to hear from you, Bwana Chair. I mean, when you look at Narok County, you're looking at 7% water coverage in urban centers. You're looking at 30% sanitation coverage. But in the rural areas, the situation is actually bad because you're looking at 15% water coverage and 0% sanitation. As Narok Water Works, what are you people doing to enhance water as well as sanitation services?
Actually, once again, my name is, I'm the chairman for Narok Water and Sewerage Company. And we have already put a lot of measures. Let's say, for example, since the coming of the new government, let's say from 2022, whereby that is the time that we have taken the mandate, especially for me being the chairman of Narok County Water and Sanitation. I just want to say that, first of all, what we did, our beloved president have came to open the sewer or sewerage for us, whereby it have really helped the Narok town people or residents, so that because by the time we were not having the sewer, we're having a lot of diseases and we're having a lot of problems. But for now, we have very many people whereby they are connected to the sewer. And that is what I want to say. In Narok town, we are now helpful because we were taking our sewer to Bomet, to other near counties. But since the president came to open the sewer for us, in collaboration with our governor and other dignitaries like our MP and the rest of the leaders, we said that actually that is one of the things that we have achieved in this time. Again, I just want to say that in these 2 years, actually the governor of Narok County have already do 38 boreholes, whereby the functioning one are like almost 33 now. So they are really helping the residents of Narok County. And to that, I can say in the rural areas, they are getting that help through the boreholes, whereby I have seen also, like even the area that we were yesterday, they are they're introducing now a lot of dams. And in other dry places, when you put some dams, the cows, because we are nomadic people or we are pastoralist people, they also help in that case.
Very well.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be coming back to you, but before I go to Emily, when I see you help us understand things, I mean, when you look at the situation of water and sanitation in Narok County, I mean, it's really bad. It's one of the poorest among the 47 counties. And I know that the Central Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency, I mean, you have a number of projects lined up for this county. Apart from the sewerage treatment plant that we went today, what other projects are underway?
Thank you. As agency mandated with development of water or ensuring that there is a sufficient water supply in the specific counties that we are under our jurisdiction, including Narok County. We have a master plan that is developed nationally by the Ministry of Water and ourselves and the county government to map all the water needs within this county. And for those big projects, among the proposed, we have 3 projects. We have Ololunga Water Project that we have sourced for funding. And also, we hopefully believe that we'll get support from Koika. And also, we have 2 more projects that we are sourcing for funds. We have designed ready. That is Narasura Spring, and also Upper Narok Dam, which is a big dam which will now supply water to Narok Town, Ewasonyiro, and to a tune of 50,000 meter cubic. That's a huge. And other programs that we have includes the small water pans and bowls that we have also designed. As we get funds, we'll implement these projects. Yes.
I want to turn on to Emily. Emily, I saw the struggles that women and children in Narok County, they go through because they have to walk for miles to look for this precious commodity. But thank God, now we're having boreholes being sunk in this region by various stakeholders. How are they making life better for you people as a community?
Thank you. The impact of this project, it really helps our area, our village, since it has reduces long travel of rivers. Since the time before this project has been brought here, we were traveling long distance for taking water, but now it has really reduced long travel of fetching water. And also it also helps us in terms of cooking, in terms of washing clothes, or even our animals. It's also helping us to take there to drink water. So this project, we are so really grateful in Kanan village, since you have really helped us to reduce this long distance of fetching water, and we are so much grateful for our government agency. We are so grateful for helping us to bring this project in our village. Thank you.
In case you want also to speak in Swahili, there is no problem. You can also discuss this in Swahili. So feel comfortable. But I also want to find out from you. I know the boreholes are not enough, for the local communities. So malilio yenyu kwa serikali ya Narok County na serikali kuu ni gani kwa wakati huu?
Serikali yetu kwa sasa hivi imetusaidia kwa sababu imetuletea haya boreholes ambayo hatukuwa nazo, na sasa tumesaidika, manake wakati mvua mingi huwa inanyesha, maji yale ambayo tunaenda kuchota mdoni huwa inakuwa sometime inakuwa chafu, lakini sasa tumepata maji safi karibu nyumbani. Imetusaidia sisi wote. Pia hatuendi safari ndefu kuchota yale maji imekuwa karibu nyumbani, na pia tumesaidika kama vile unaweza pata time nyingine badala ya travel long distance kuchota haya maji, tumepata time nzuri ya kufanya kazi zingine badala ya kutembea mbali kuchota yale maji.
Bwana CEO, I know you don't work alone in this project, because let's face it, you are in 5 counties, and they are quite expansive counties. Are you working with other agencies in government or outside government to fast track the delivery of water services to residents of the counties that you cover?
Very true. We have projects that we also implement on behalf of the ministry. Water for school programs, drought mitigations, and all those. Also, we have other agencies like NSEDA here in Narok. We work together, like this project that Nisoya bowl and water supply. The drilling of the bowl was done by NSEDA, and ourselves we did about 3 kiosks and pipeline, rehabilitated the water tank, all this, we are working. KVDA also is another player. County government of Narok is another player. So we are so many trying to resolve the problem of water, but in the major water infrastructure, the mandate is on us mostly. So, and that is why we are really sourcing for funds to ensure we have the project, Gilgoris Water Project, that is to be soon commissioned. That is a project we've been given direction by the President that in 2 months' time we should commission the water supply project in Gilgoris.
What will be the impact of that water supply?
Yes, that is another project, new project for the part of this Narok County, because it is the first treated water in that county. So we say we have a project that will impact a lot, because to have a treated water supplied in our community to a tune of 2,200,000 liters per day is not small. So we are working to see that we finalize that project and also do a last mile. We have another support of a tune of 150 million to do the last mile in part of Gilgoris and Olgorian. Yes.
Bwana Chairman, I mean, when you look at the Narok water works, I mean, you're in the business of ensuring that there is water. You're also in the business of ensuring that, the residents of this county, they have proper sanitation. Apart from the Narok water sanitation project, what else do we have in the pipeline?
Actually, apart from Narok town, just recently we connect, we get some funds from Narok County, and almost 70 to 80 million, and actually they put to Suswa. They connect the water from Naivasha through the dry port, and actually now people are getting water from that town called Suswa. And again, through the Rift Valley, and also the President, he assures also that he will give us the funds that we source the other water from Lake Naivasha to a place called Dukamoja. And that project is almost flagged on. And then actually another source that recently we did it, we're having another spring called Mashariani. Because when we came, for example, when we came, we were having like 1 million liters per day. But now, Narok town, we're having like almost 6 million liters per day.
6 million liters?
Yes. And actually, what have helped us is another spring called Mashariani. We just got and fenced that place, and we got that there is a very good and clean water. And the Narok County government, they have helped us to put electricity and some pipes, and actually now it is doing very well in the safety.
Very good. I mean, gentlemen and lady, I mean, time is not on our end, but I just want to wind up this conversation by giving Emily 30 seconds to say something.
Okay, thank you. For me, I just want to thank our government agency for giving us this privileged time and privileged project for us to reduce our long distance travel to fetch water. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I mean, thank you very much. I want to see you and Chairman, and Emily for joining us on this show, and of course for helping us understand where we are in terms of providing water and sanitation to the residents of Narok County. And before I wind up, I also want to recognize Mr. David Mbatiani. He's the Regional Director of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I mean, he's the host, that's why we are here, and you can even see the bonfire. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Back to you, Hashim, in Broadcasting House.
Well, thank you so much. That is our very own O'Brien Kimani carrying out a candid conversation on what the agency under the Ministry of Water and Sanitation has been able to do in that particular devolved unit and the Great Rift Valley region. Of course, we'll have more for you in our subsequent bulletins in days to come. Elsewhere, Kenya's maternal mortality rate remains alarmingly high, with 355 deaths per 100,000 live births, according to statistics by the United Nations Population Fund Kenya. Now, this translates to nearly 5,000 women and girls dying annually due to complications related to pregnancy and childbirth, mainly due to delay in seeking quality healthcare during pregnancy. To reduce maternal morbidity and mortality rates, health experts are calling for provisions of comprehensive family planning services, increased access to healthcare and sustainable financing to strengthen health systems.
We have had a lot of people dying, mostly because of lack of proper antenatal care, lack of proper follow-up, and also like sometimes you find their nutrition is not well taken care of. And of course the baby when is in utero, what they do, they deplete all the nutrients from the mother. So if the mother is not well taken care of, then you find that you'll have high mortality rate because truly the mother, they are not able to go to the hospital or for one reason or another. When it comes to time of delivery, they are not in the expert, they're not in the hospital. And that's why we really encourage mothers at all stages to go to the nearest hospital to be helped with the delivery.
We are realizing that there are quite a number of things that happen immediately after conception. And immediately after conception, I have learned that a mother will need a lot of dad's presence because there are a lot of exercises that are needed. There are a lot of emotional balances that need to be approached and also to help the mother to approach the emotional balances.
Elsewhere, Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD member states have been called upon to support and enable the implementation of children's policies in their countries by ensuring sufficient allocation of funds and enhanced human capacity in the children's department. Speaking during a joint consultation meeting on IGAD draft child policy, children representatives further called for the inclusion of children in the formulation and implementation of ratified laws and policies for efficient delivery and impact.
35 children drawn from 3 Intergovernmental Authority on Development member states, which include Kenya, South Sudan and Uganda, attending a joint consultation meeting on the IGAD draft child policy, have called for implementation of policies and laws in the 8 IGAD member states, including their respective countries.
When we enforce it effectively, the government that will be accountable for it, they enforce it for genuine, you see, not just because it's their responsibility. You know, they'll sign a treaty, they'll sign it, it will be their responsibility. Not just because it's their responsibility, but they do it genuine.
African member states, the quickest cure for any problem is come up with a law, come up with a policy. But when you now go to the general measures of implementation of these laws, of these policies, this is where we have a big challenge.
The meeting seeks to ensure that children understand their rights and the resources they have access to when these are violated, ensure that their views are heard and considered duly in the policy development, and that children are provided the opportunity to provide their insights on the needs and the challenges they face in Kenya, South Sudan and Uganda, as well as in cross-border settings, and propose solutions for policymakers. Stakeholders highlighted some of the key challenges that are a plague to children, especially in conflict zones, leading to displacement and child trafficking.
Like from Uganda, right now we are having the Karamajong, I don't know if you're aware, Karamajong children, girls have been trafficked all the way from Uganda to Kenya.
We've been calling for cessation of the conflict as a first step, but also saying that then the resumption of essential services for children, healthcare, education is paramount.
Many of the countries in the region are experiencing conflict. Climate change is another challenge, migration, forced displacement, and for us to really invest in the future of our generation of these children, there's a need for us to develop such kind of policy.
This comes as they urged governments to consider the allocation of funds to ensure the implementation of policies.
Most of the times we are not a priority. Unfortunately, children are, when it comes to budget allocation, it's like children are not a priority. So I take this opportunity just to talk and ensure that this time round will be considered.
We wanted to make sure that the child policy speaks to the existing national policy. We don't want to override the national laws and national policies, but we also want to complement the gaps and make sure that they go in line with the national policies and laws.
The meeting is happening under the framework of the East Africa Migration Routes Project, designed and supported by Switzerland and implemented by Save the Children to review the eager draft child policy. Serafina Robi for Legends Edition.
Ni zawadi za kila wiki, 100,000 kila wiki, 250,000 kila wiki. Uamuzi ni wako. Sasa Lutomoto kwenye holiday bonanza hii inakuletea game mpya kupitia *570# option 4 na ujishindia up to 250,000 Kenyan shillings ukiwa nyumbani. Na draw ni ya kila wiki, na kupata tikiti yako ni kupitia *570# pekee option 4, na tikiti yako ikitufikia inaingia ndani ya drum.
Although it's a good evening and welcome once again to the sports segment of the Legends Edition this Saturday evening. And as usual, we have prepared for you quite a bit of sporting activities. Now, the Football Kenya Federation delegates have adopted the amended electoral code, which will now be enforced during the upcoming FKF elections. In a special general meeting held today in Nairobi, the delegates also resolved to pass a national executive decision to form a 5-member electoral board to conduct the forthcoming elections. KBC crew was on hand, and here is a report filed. Take a look.
The Federation has successfully held its special general meeting on Saturday ahead of the elections. Top of the agenda, the SJM. Top of the agenda, the SGM, was the adoption of the decisions by the National Executive Committee, adoption of the newly composed electoral board, as well as the 2019-2020 electoral code.
Go campaign. Convince your colleagues that you can do different from those who have been there, including my own position, starting with my own position.
I think the recommendations were made on the floor today. The members passed them. It's important to scrutinize them further. The point here is that whatever it is we adopt has to, of course, meet the constitutional threshold and has to be within the laws of this country.
Delegates present voted to pass the electoral board members comprising of Esbon Wheeler, James Waindi, Alfred Nganga, Dan Mule and Marceline Sade.
We need to have a transparent appointment of board members. If you ask me any of those members who have been proposed as members of the board, I don't know them, but I'm hoping that they are Kenyans that who can deliver.
The delegates also voted to adopt the amended electoral code, which will now be enforced for the upcoming elections.
We give an opportunity to football stakeholders and the lovers of this game to elect their leaders through a fair, free, transparent and credible process. That's very, very, very important.
Following the meeting, the board will now be mandated with the conducting of the elections. 89 delegates were in attendance, among them representative of the 48 FKF branches, as well as the 18 FKF Premier League, 10 FKF National Super League, 3 FKF Women Premier League, 2 FKF National Super League, and 10 FKF Division 1 League. For Legends Edition, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Former champions Tusker FC started their new FKF Premier League season on a winning note, beating Sofapaka 1-0 at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. The lone goal was netted by Crispin Erambo in the 61st minute. Tusker FC finished second last season, 8 points behind champions Gor Mahia. In other matches played today, Bidco United played to a 1-1 draw against Shabana FC, while KCB Nairobi drew 0-0 against Kariobangi Sharks. Posta Rangers were held to a 1-0 draw by Bandari FC at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. 3 matches are on the card tomorrow. Mara Sugar FC will play Kakamega Homeboys, while Mathare United will take on FC Leopards. Ulinzi Stars will host Muranga Seal at the Ulinzi Sports Complex here in Nairobi. Cabinet Secretary for Sports Kipchumba Murkomen said his main goal is to make all sporting disciplines a success both at home and internationally for the period he will serve in the Ministry of Sports. Murkomen spoke last night at the dinner gala held by the National Olympic Committee of Kenya for the Kenyan athletes who competed in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Let's take a listen.
Kenya only managed to collect medals in athletics at the Paris Olympic Games and missed out on a medal in other disciplines. And Sports CS Murkomen says that he wants to see all disciplines being played at the highest level possible. Murkomen said that his ministry is ready to channel resources where results are and will work with all stakeholders to make it possible, especially with the renovations and improving of the available sporting facilities in the country.
I have cases where sportsmen are complaining that they have been discriminated, they have been done this. I try to reach out to the Federation to ask them exactly what is the story about these issues. That is how we will work together for the period of time that I will be able to serve in this ministry, which is usually indefinite. It can be a week, it can be a month.
At the gala, some of the Paris Olympic athletes were feted, including Eliud Kipchoge, with National Olympic Committee President Paul Tergat saying that all medals that have been won by Kenyan athletes at all international competitions should not be taken for granted.
We have successfully featured at this global sports festival for over 6 decades, during which our presence has been felt, acknowledged time and again. We owe all this glory to the incredible passion and patriotic service of our athletes at every edition of the Olympic Games.
Kenya collected a total of 11 medals at the Paris Olympic Games, 4 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze medals. Faith Kipyegon, Beatrice Chebet and Emmanuel Wanyonyi won gold for Kenya. Kipyegon and Ronald Kwemoi won silver medals, while the bronze medalists were Faith Cherotich, Abraham Kibiwot, Benson Kipruto, Helen Obiri and Mary Moraa.
21 Kenyan athletes, including 11 men and 10 women, are set to travel tonight to Lima, Peru, to compete at the 20th edition of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships, which will be held between the 27th and the 31st of this month. Over 900 athletes from 135 countries will compete in the 5-day championships, which are being hosted in South America for a second consecutive edition.
The team will depart in 2 batches, with the first squad leaving at 10:50 p.m. and the last batch at 11:59 p.m. The Kenyan team, under head coach Robert Ngisirei, has been in residential training camp at the Kasarani Stadium for over 2 weeks, preparing for the championship. Kenya will be defending 3 titles from the 2022 Cali Colombia edition: 1500 meters men, 3000 meters and 3000 meters steeplechase women. 2024 Africa Senior Athletics Championship medalist Edmond Serem, who bagged silver in 3000 meters, and Sarah Moraa, who won gold in 800 meters, will lead Kenya's medal hunt in Lima.
I think kwa saa hii 5000 imekuwa tough kwa sisi tulete hiyo gold, lakini kenye mimi naweza sema ni kung'ang'ana tu. Juu saa hii sisi tukanda 20 tunataka kushikilia hapo ili tukifika senior sio mbaya sana.
Mazoezi ni mzuri, tumejitayarisha kweli kweli na tunatarajia mazuri. Bado nilikimbia cross country, Ruiru National, Sukumek team, but nikakimbia trials, nikakuwa position 3, nikamake time.
Over 900 athletes from 135 countries will compete in the 5-day championship, which are being hosted in South America for a second consecutive edition.
The second edition of the Kenya Darts Association Prisons Rotational Trophy 2024 kicked off today in Nairobi with more than 100 players taking part. Two-day tournament attracted players from Kitengela, Thika, Muthaiga, Rongai, Zimmerman and the Prisons team. The tournament is aimed to sharpen the Prisons team, which will take part in the KDA Prisons Chairman's Cup in Nakuru in November. The East Africa Darts Federation Uganda Open set for September in Uganda. Winners in different categories walk away with trophies and cash awards. The two-day event ends tomorrow.
Kwa sababu vile watu wamejiandaa, hii mchezo imekuwa kwa muda, imetangazwa na Prisons, so watu wetu wamejiandaa. Ukiangalia vile doubles zinachezwa na pia bado kuna mtisha ya single games ambao zitakuja.
Tumeinvite pia outsiders ndio at least tuweze kujigauge, tujue tuko wapi kama magereza team.
Kwa zile timu zimetoka nje ni kama timu za Kajiado wamekuja kwenye hii michezo ambapo wao ni wachezaji wa Nairobi, wanakuwa na competition Nairobi, na tumekuwa na wao kwa mara mingi, na kwa ajili ya kuwa wanaona vile mchezo Nairobi sinaendelea, wanafurahia kuwa pamoja na wao. Wamefurahia kuona Prison imeitisha game, wakaona ni vizuri nao wa join sisi.
The Kenya Under-20 boys volleyball team, which will participate in the Africa World Junior Championships qualifiers in Tunisia, is expected to leave the country tonight. The championship kicked off today and has attracted 6 countries: host Tunisia, Kenya, Egypt, Algeria, and Rwanda and Burundi. Meanwhile, the Kenya Under-20 girls volleyball team lost by 3-0 in Egypt in their opening match today.
The Kenya junior teams have been training for the past 1 week at the Nyayo National Stadium Indoor Gymnasium. The teams are under the tutelage of former Kenyan international Sila Makiso and Justin Kigwari. According to the tacticians, the boys and girls are in good shape despite having a short period to prepare for the continental assignment.
We just thank the Federation and the government for this opportunity that they have given unto us so that we can have the youngest team going abroad and doing volleyball.
The junior teams were selected after the conclusion of the Term 2 National Ball Games in Kisii County. The Africa World Junior Championship qualifiers, which will end on the 31st of this month, will see 6 countries facing off: host Tunisia, Kenya, Egypt, Algeria, Rwanda and Burundi. The top 3 countries in both categories will qualify for the World Junior Championship.
Meanwhile, preparations for the 12th edition of the Mombasa Open Tong Il Modo International Martial Arts Festival is in high gear, with teams streaming into the port city of Mombasa for the annual contest. This year's competition has attracted 27 teams from Asia, USA and Africa, most of which have been regular features since the inception of the tournament 11 years ago. Let's take a look.
The Kenyan national team Jasiri has been in camp for the last 2 weeks and has exuded confidence in clinching top prize when the games officially kick off on the 31st August 2024. A few challenges have been witnessed, with funding glitches being the major drawback. Jasiri team captain and Assistant Secretary General of the Kenya Tongili Mudo Federation, Elvis Malipe, said the 12th edition will feature 70 Kenyan players, the biggest number yet in the competition.
The national team has been training for the last 2 weeks, the main Jasiri national team. Also, we've been joined by the rest of the Kenyan players with us here today. And we are making the final touches as we adjust to the newly decided dates that have been announced by the Kenya Tongili Mudo Federation. Since we are expecting some funding from the Ministry of Sports.
He added that the dates of the tournament have been adjusted due to the funding constraints, which the government through the Ministry of Sports Fund Kitty have committed to resolve to kickstart the event.
There's been some delay, but this coming week we are looking forward to getting funding in time so that we can bring in the officials that have not come yet, and also we can bring in the critical equipments that we require for the tournament that have not arrived.
Co-president and the World Tongili Mudo Federation, Takamitsu Hoshiko, said that the Mombasa edition of the tournament will play a pivotal role in taking the sports to the Olympics.
And external goal of Tongili Mudo is we want to go to the Olympic game, of course. So that the tournament which we have been here in the Mombasa becoming the stepping stone to go to the Olympic Games. So that's why this Mombasa tournament is very, very important.
He added that the support from the government over the last decade has been the key to the success the competitions have witnessed. The players that have arrived have exuded confidence in winning medals at the tournament.
Mafans watarajia ushindi kama kawaida na tunawahimiza wakuje wa support Jasiri. Tuko sure tutashinda pande zote.
Our expectation is to win the overall this time. Before we always go maybe third and fourth, but this time we want to win the overall.
My expectation, hopefully, is gold. However, there is some tough competition, and I am up for the challenge.
From Mombasa County, I am Ann Boro.
Long and interesting name that was. Now, on the international scene, twisty gravel mountain roads combined with high temperatures and choking dust will provide a fierce challenge at the Eco Acropolis Rally Greece, which is the 10th round on the WRC calendar. The tracks will be smoother than they used to be, but will be still pose punishing demands on tires and cars in the Acropolis Rally set for the 5th to the 8th of September this year. Take a look.
Toyota driver Takamoto Katsuta has admitted he needs to make changes in his approach to this year's FIA World Rally Championship, starting with the Eco Acropolis Rally Greece early next month. After running as high as second overall, Katsuta was forced to retire from the first full day of Sector Rally Finland after hitting a tree in Iruhimaki. That came on the back of events where the Japanese himself felt he didn't deliver the performances capable of aboard his factory Toyota GR Yaris 1. While Katsuta has struggled on some rounds this season, his second place on Safari Rally Kenya was his third African podium in 4 years, and is hungry for another podium in Greece. The Acropolis Rally was first held in 1953 and was a founding member of the FIA World Rally Championship in 1973. In the 1970s, it regularly comprised more than 50 stages and 850 competitive kilometers. Apart from 1974, when it was cancelled due to an oil crisis, and 1995, when it was an FIA 2-litre cup round only, it remained in the series until 2010. It returned in 2011 but was dropped from the WRC at the end of 2013, after which it became a European Championship round. In 2005, the Acropolis was named Rally of the Year, following a hugely successful super special stage in a packed Olympic Stadium in Athens. Colin McRae is the Acropolis master with 5 wins between 1996 and 2002. He won twice in a Subaru Impreza before a hat-trick of wins from 2000 in a Ford Focus. Other winners include former world champions Walter Roll, Bojan Waldegard, Ari Vetanen, Miki Biasson, Juha Kankkunen, Carlos Sainz and Sebastian Loeb. Ford tops the manufacturer's roll of honor with 13 wins.
Now, Joao Pedro scored in the final minutes to secure a 2-1 win for Brighton over Manchester United, marking their second consecutive victory over the new Premier League season. Defending champions Manchester City, West Ham, Fulham, Tottenham and Nottingham were the other victors of match day 2. Let's take a preview. And over in Germany, Antonio Nusa scored a 59th minute goal to guide a 10-man Leipzig to a 1-0 victory on match day 1 of the new German Bundesliga season. Leipzig ended the match with 10 men, and Will Oban was red-carded 6 minutes to the final whistle. Hoffenheim and Freiburg also recorded wins on match day 1, while Augsburg and Mainz began their season with respective draws at home. Take a peek.
Für Riechers, that was good.
And that's a wrap for the sports segment this evening. So we had for you, and remember to be with us again next Saturday for another Bombay edition of the Sporting Field. And before I hand you over to my colleague Aziz, who's waiting there, our new and latest legend, I remind you that, Patro Kibungu Mfumu, Winnie Marie Jose, and DJ Extra Salim will be on hand after the news bulletin for the Bridge over Congo Rumba. So pick up your shoes, get ready. Let's roll. Now it's over to you, Aziz.
Thank you for the compliment, Toppy, and I hope this will be the norm. And of course, I do hope one of these fine days I'll become legends like you and Fayaz and Edmund and the rest. And thank you so much. Of course, the Gunners have won their match against Aston Villa. That was the late game week 2. And of course, we'll see how our noisy neighbours, that is Chelsea, will perform against Wolves. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Mora. Good evening for now.
Siamini.
Amini usiamini, Holiday Bonanza ni ya kila mtu na zawadi zitakufikia mahali popote. Dial *570#, chagua option 4 na zawadi kibao zinakungoja. Ikiwa kila wiki kuna 250,000 Kenya